Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, a voiceover of a bikejoring run. Today we're running Loki and Izzy, and we actually have the hookup in the video, which should be pretty cool. So we're going to walk the dogs over. We already got the bike set up. We've got our handlers ready to go, and you'll see why we need handlers in just a second here. I let the dogs out before we run, walk them around a bit, let them pee, let them poop.
Black to Izzy, red to Izzy.
Let them sniff, and we'll take them for a walk after. So we're going to hook up the tug lines here. They're different lengths, so Izzy has a specific length tug line just so that they're nose to nose when they're running. Grab the neckline. And you can hear Loki starting to scream. Once these lines start getting hooked up, they know it's time to go. It's time to run. It's their favorite thing to do. I also always run with my leashes, just in case anything happens on the trail. I can just hook up my leashes and walk them back. You never know. Oh, look at a tangle. Thank you, Dave. He gets that sorted out.
Hike it up!
There's hike it up. Look at him go.
Hike!
That's 26 kilometers an hour right here.
Good dogs.
Absolutely flying. I'm not pedaling at all. I'm actually dragging the brakes.
Good dogs.
And you'll hear me say good dogs very often throughout the run because I like to just praise them and tell them that they're doing a good job. I don't find much use in yelling and screaming at my dogs. I will raise my voice, but it's just make sure that they hear me. Coming up here, you'll see what I mean.
On by,
So they want to turn
on
right.
by. Good.
I say on by, get louder each
Hike,
time,
hike.
and then Loki figures it out. So when I tell them to go on by, what I want them to do is to go straight. There's a turn. I don't want to take that turn. I want to go straight, so I say on by. I'll also say on by if there's a dog or a distraction that I want them to ignore. I'll say on by.
Good dogs.
And the idea is that they should ignore it and they should run by it. Now, the hike command means to run. Hike up, you'll hear me say as well, means to increase the pace. I'll also say whoa. And what whoa means is slow down / stop. Easy's usually used for slow down as well, but that's more of a decreased speed than like a whoa, almost come to a stop or come to a complete stop.
Good.
G is to turn right, ha is to turn left. And you also hear me say leave it and wait. Leave it is if they notice something like a squirrel or something that's particularly interesting that I want them to leave. And then wait is almost always just used when I stop them and I need them to wait. So there I call them up again. I just like to keep them running at a good clip.
Good dogs.
Now, if you're just starting out and you don't plan on racing your dogs, you don't need to worry so much about keeping a really high pace. But we plan on racing eventually, and I like my dogs to run hard the whole run.
Go! Hike!
So coming up here, you're going to see an on by. There's a person walking their dog. They go off to the side of the trail.
On by.
On by, there's the on by. Look at that. Completely ignore them.
Pick it up.
Fly right past them. Oh, okay.
Whoa.
So here's a fellow musher, Eric.
Pass. Pick it up.
I ask him if I can pass. He says go ahead.
You okay?
He's running Storm here, this big Malamute. It's his first run.
Good dog.
I asked him if he's okay.
Pick it up.
He says yep. Just Storm's a rookie. He's never ran before, so they're just having some problems. But since I know they're having problems, I'm going to whoa. I'm going to wait. They're going to stop. And I'm going to wait for Eric. Just so that he can catch up and give Storm and Leia something to chase. So if the dogs are chasing someone for example, me in this scenario, they'll have their focus set on chasing me. Whereas if there's nothing to chase, sometimes they just think they're on a walk, which can be a problem when you're just starting out. And if you can find somebody to run with, I always say run with somebody, because you can always help each other out. Even if something happens on the trail, you always have that other person there to help. Unfortunately, we are way too fast, and they are gone. I really didn't realize how fast we were. So we're coming around here. We got another intersection coming up.
Go, come on, pick it up.
Call them up again. They're slowing down a bit there, you can see. You'll just see me look around every once in a while.
Ha, ha.
So I say, ha.
Good.
And then I look back over to see where Eric is, and he's not there. I don't see him at all. But there are some forks in the trail. He might have went a different direction. He might have had a problem. So I'm just going to keep going.
Trail.
There's somebody walking here. I'm going to yell trail.
Thank you.
They move over. I say thank you.
Pick it up. Go.
And trail just means, hey, I'm coming. So there's a fork in the trail. I say ha.
Pick it up.
Which way do they go? Left. Beautiful.
Good.
If I said G, they would go to the right. So we're slowing down here a bit. The dogs are getting a little bit tired. But this is only the second run of the year, and
Go.
I'm really, really happy with what I'm seeing right now. If you watch the last run, they slowed down to a trot about 3 times in about the same distance of a run. So that means that we're already considerably better after just one run.
Come on. Go. Pick it up.
Call them up again. And I'm just getting them used to running at a really high pace. Or not so much a high pace, but you can see they slow down to a trot.
Go, go, go. Hey, hey,
This
hey.
is them trotting,
Good
and
dog.
then now they're running. So I want them to stay running. I don't want them to trot.
Come on. Pick it up. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Good.
And of course, if they were tired, if they couldn't run anymore, they would just slow down to a trot. But I know them. I know they can run this full blast. They just don't know how far they're running. So they always like to try to keep some in the tank. And like I said, if you're not racing, you don't need to keep them at such a high pace.
Let's go.
You can let them trot. And you can always get them to a higher pace later. But we have a race coming up in about 3 weeks. And we got to get these dogs into condition.
Pick it up.
I don't expect to win anything. But I do expect to have a clean run hard the whole time, and try our best. Put in an effort that's worthy of all the time spent driving all the way to a race. So I'm gonna let them slow down to a trot here, just because we're going around a pond, and then there's a fork right here. It's a rather tight turn. And tell them to go G.
G. G.
Turn right. Perfect.
Pick it up.
Izzy nailed that. I love it.
Good boy, Loki. Good girl, Izzy. Pick it up.
So here's a little tricky thing. I see a guy with a dog, and this dog is off lead. So what do I do?
On by. On by.
Well, I could stop and wait, and this dog could approach my dogs, or I could just keep my dogs running.
On by. Leave it.
And then there's a squirrel that
Leave it.
distracts them too. And Izzy, you can hear me say leave it, and then right when I said leave it, she turned back around. But that squirrel was tempting, wasn't it? And with that off-lead dog, there's a chance that if I stop the dogs, that off-lead dog will approach my dogs.
On by.
And
Jeep, on by.
my dogs are friendly. They're not aggressive, not reactive. But when they're working, I want them to work. It's not playtime. And I don't want other dogs approaching them. So I made a split-second decision just to blow past him.
Come on.
And hopefully that guy learns his lesson and keeps his dog leashed. Because that was a 4-month-old puppy. And you can see at that last intersection when we went G, there was also 2 dogs being walked there. And we ran within 2 or 3 feet of them. But the dogs completely ignored him. Alright, we're in the final stretch. Coming back into home. A lot of these corners are hard to see around, so you'll see me like tilt my head around to try to see around, make sure there's no one there. And it's hard to see in the GoPro, but I see movement up here. So I don't know if these people are walking a dog, and the trail's pretty narrow, so I tell them easy, slow them down a little bit. Okay, no dog, we're okay.
Thank you. On by, guys.
Say thank you, on by.
Thank you. Pick it up.
Tell them to speed up a little bit. Go G. And we're back to the parking lot. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. And I hope the voiceover was somewhat informative. And here's a fun little video at the end that Hannah takes right now. And there's some cars here in the parking lot, so I'm going to stop, wait my dogs. And they're going to wait while these cars pass. And that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys.